Hi, welcome to this session on CS22071 Agile Methodology presented by R. Samundi, Assistant Professor of Computer Science and Engineering. Today we will see topic as extreme programming from unit to agile process. First, let us understand what is extreme programming. It is an agile software methodology focused on delivering high quality software quickly and adapting to changing customer needs. It emphasizes frequent releases, close teamwork, rapid feedback, and technical excellence. So, in this session, we will see extreme programming, core values, and guiding principles, essential practice like pair programming and automated testing, use of production metrics for measuring and improving progress, embracing change for business benefit, real world advantage of adapting XP. Now let's move into next slide, that is introduction to extreme programming. Here we will understand what is XP, that is extreme programming is an agile method that emerged from project at Chrysler Corporation in the late 1990s. It was devised by Ward Cunningham, Ken Beck, and Ron Jeffries. Ken Beck introduced its basic principles in extreme programming, explained, published in 2000. Extreme programming has gained wide popularity and coverage in the press at software development conference. Now let's move into next slide, that is extreme programming defining characteristics. XP is best known for specific practice such as fair programming and continuous integration. So, absence of formal analysis or design phase, no explicit system test and quality assurance department are phase, although it includes a user acceptance test stage for each completed iteration. It is considered an agile method that allows for rapid delivery and the ability to accept and cope with change in requirements or project scope. Now we will move into next slide, that is XP system representation. XP workflow involves several stages moving from intangible customer knowledge to working code. The first one, story writing, that is raw material, and next one, release planning, and third one, story elaboration, fourth one, iteration planning, fifth one, write a test, sixth one, pair programming, seventh one, unit test, eighth one, continuous integration, ninth one, integration test, and finally acceptance test. After that we will working the code, that is the output. So, raw material and inventory in XP. The raw material of XP is the knowledge of the customer. In its most extreme form, requirements are not produced in written form. Instead, customers work directly with developers to create user stories. The inventory of the system is measured in story points. User stories are description of client valued functionality ideally written in small chunks on index card. They can vary greatly in size from small like FDD features to large epics. To address variability, the stories are assessed for size and risk during the planning game. Assigned points on a 3-point scale, making story point the best, most repeatable way to access work in progress. Next, the planning game. The planning game is a key part of XP that involves the customer and development team. It is used to protect the scope of constraint. The customer prioritizes user stories based on the potential business value, anticipated throughput. The development team provides input on complexity and risk points, which may lead to reshuffling of priorities to balance throughput against complexity and risk. The optimally sorted list is prioritized by throughput dollars per story point. The next one is iteration planning. XP projects operate in short, fixed time iteration. Typically, it takes 2 weeks, though some advocate for 1 week or even 1 day iteration also possible. At the start of an iteration, the development team decide how much refactoring to undertake and how many bugs to fix. They then take on enough stories to fill the remainder of 2 week iteration. This approach ensures the inventory cannot build up in the system. And next one, the continuous integration. XP advocates for near continuous integration of code with builds scheduled as frequently as every 15 minutes. This practice aims to eliminate build policy as a constraint by elevating the build process through automation tools like Ant. XP argues that it is better for broken builds to happen often with small consequence than rarely with large one. Continuous integration may, however, limit the size of a single XP team, with some suggesting a limit of around 12 developers due to increasing complexity of integrating changes. And next one, pair programming. Pair programming involves two developers working together at one workstation. One enters the code and other watches, points out error or suggests improvement. This can be seen as continuous code inspection. So what is the purpose of the pair programming means? To exploit developers as a capacity constrained resource by improving code quality and thereby increasing overall system productivity. So using pair programming, what are the benefits are there means potentially a significant defect reduction estimated up to 50%, and it can increase productivity from positive peer reinforcement and sustained energy level. It facilitates skills transfer as programmers regularly swap pairs. Here, what are the disadvantage or downside means can be ineffective if pairs don't get along or spend too much time on non-work activities. Next one is unit testing in XP. XP elevates unit testing to an art form, advocating that unit test be written before the code. What is the purpose of the unit testing means? To improve quality and reduce defect, thereby increasing the capacity of both development and testing by reducing rework. Unit testing reduces the likelihood of failures downstream in user acceptance testing, which improves the overall throughput of the system by allowing more new stories to be developed. XP emphasizes on unit testing as per an industry of tools like JUnit. Next, we'll see the collective ownership. XP actively rejects permanent or temporary class ownership, viewing it as constraint that increase queue time. Instead, XP implements collective ownership, allowing multiple developers to access and modify the same file simultaneously. The argument is that the cost of merging changes is minimal compared to the time saved by the eliminating queue time. XP believes that coding standards and pair programming maintain code quality despite collective ownership. This practice may be suitable for small, highly talented teams, but its scalability beyond around 12 developers is debated. And next one is refactoring in XP. Refactoring is used in XP to compensate for a minimal upfront effort in architecture, analysis and design. It is deliberate policy to keep work in progress inventory low. Ideally, refactoring should be continuous and invisible. However, for most teams, it may require dedicating a full iteration. Example, every third or fourth iteration. Here, what are the benefits means it creates more robust code tolerant to future change. It enhances agility and achieves flow by reducing total inventory in the system. Here, what are the disadvantages or warnings are there means allowing large amounts of completed work to accumulate before refactoring increases risk and lead time, negatively impacting production and financial metrics. And next one, the on-site customer. XP mandates an on-site customer who works directly with the development team. So what is the purpose of the on-site customer means to reduce the downtime caused by issues and quickly resolve ambiguities or problems with requirements, to provide fast corrective feedback through demos of partially completed code. This exploits user acceptance testing as a resource and elevate developers by reducing the need for rework. The on-site customer practice contributes to higher quality, fewer defects, and an increased overall production rate. This makes it challenging to implement XP with outsourced development. On next slide, we will see the 40-hour work week. XP advocates for a regular 40-hour work week. Unlike traditional software development that often expect unpaid overtime, XP treats the 40-hour week as a desirable policy constraint aimed at maintaining high quality. The philosophy is that long term overtime leads to a drop in quality and a decrease in the overall production rate of the system. This practice is consistent with sustainable development. And next one is the stand-up meetings. XP utilize daily stand-up meetings similar to Scrum or FDD morning roll call. So what is the purpose means to maximize the exploitations of developers by allowing them to request more work or assistance, thus minimizing the downtime to catch and fix problems early, preventing them from festering and affecting the critical path, to provide instant recognition and positive peer reinforcement for completed work, boosting morale and productivity, to foster peer pressure and a team sprint, increasing combined productivity of the team beyond the sum of individual parts. Production metrics. Number 1, velocity. XP practitioners often refer to the team's velocity, which is equivalent to the production rate, or velocity is the rate of completion of story points, typically measured over each 2 weeks iteration. XP tracks inventory at 2 granularities: release level, work in progress, completed work but not yet released, and work yet to be started. And next level is iteration level: stories yet to be started, completed and in development. So next one is cumulative flow diagram, that is called as CFD, can visualize the flow of story points through the various stages: stories written, elaborated, integrated, acceptance test. Over time, a falling production rate and falling work in progress inventory can indicate falling quality. Financial metrics. Investment in XP. Investment I in XP is the cost of acquiring the working set of story. These include cost of upfront activities like market research, focus group, prototyping, user interface design and requirements engineering. Time spent on the planning game, time invested in creating acceptance test. XP approach to investment is interesting as it is made over the duration of the release rather than entirely committed at the beginning. This means investment is fed into system as a result or achieved, making XP a useful risk management tool. And next one, what are the financial metrics? Operating expense in XP. Operating expense OE in XP includes all cost, especially direct labor for an iteration or release, minus any cost attributed to investment. For a 2-week iteration, operating expense is easily calculated as OE iteration equal to 2-week iteration multiplied with the operating expense per week. Since the cost of people is largest contributed to operating expense, so XP aims to reduce operating expense by using fewer people, example through pair programming efficiency, rework, bug fixes, refactoring reduces the production rate, directly impacting the operating expense by reducing the output for the same cost. Next one, the financial metrics, throughput and net profit in XP. Throughput in XP is the dollar value of a delivered user story. Net profit for an iteration is calculated as net profit iteration equal to throughput iteration minus operation expense iteration. For an overall release, net profit release equal to throughput release minus overall operational expense release. XP aims to maximize the efficiency of flow of value, increasing the throughput by delivering the valuable software frequently. The return on investment in XP is calculated using the net profit and investment figures. XP risk philosophy and applicability. So here we will see what are the risk philosophy is available. XP believes software development is odd, so it is advocate doing it in small batches. If batch is strong, the loss is minimal, leading to low investment risk and low cost of change or abandonment. XP suggests tackling the riskiest part of iteration or release first, fail early, fail often, to minimize the operating expense by avoiding development of features that might prove too difficult. The cost of change. XP proposes that the cost of change is less exponential than traditionally believed, more like a logarithmic curve, primarily because of its agility and continuous refactoring applicability. XP is most effective environment with high uncertainty and frequent change, example less mature dynamic market exploratory problem domains. It can be thought of as a serial expediting. XP is often seen as suitable for smaller highly skilled teams, potentially up to 12 developers. So it is classified in the artisan skill quadrant for transferable quality improvement, meaning its effectiveness relies heavily on direct knowledge transfer and craftsmanship. And the last one is, so up to this we will wind up this session. Thank you.